I'm sick and tired of having these masculine guru type people on the internet who try and tell you that masculine love is all about this stoic silence where you have no emotions, you're cold hearted, and the only thing you're good for is providing money for a no good gold digger of a girlfriend. But the truth is, real masculine men, grounded masculine love, is based in rich emotion, this calmness, this consistency, this leadership, where in moments of emotional harshness between you and your partner, you can lead each other to a grounded, healthy environment. And a good woman doesn't fall in love with a man who looks good, so stop searching up the looks maxing videos at 3 a.m. Because the truth is, a woman loves a man who brings good fruit, and a tree that looks good but brings bad fruit is a bad tree, so stop trying to look good for a woman who won't even like you because you're a crappy man deep down. But rather, a woman falls in love with a man who brings safety to her world. Howdy, my name is Nolan T. Painter. I am an aspiring young man with aspirations greater than anyone will ever understand. And in today's video, I'm using my own experience, my own reflection, and my outlook on the world to tell you what true masculine love is. This is the truth, and while my opinions may adjust over the years to come, I can assure you that I'll be grounded in the same logic. And that is because in masculine love, it is the best way to love your partner. And it all begins with the distinction between love and lust. In love and in lust, we make man. A man is full of emotions, predominantly his love to care for others and his lust for those same people. And in that lust, we find that we put way too many people on a pedestal. Think of the woman in your class, the woman in your gym. You think they look good, and so you want to have sex with them. You masturbate to them, which is what these people do. And needless to say, that's wrong. But why is it wrong? Well, first of all, you're putting women on a pedestal. These women don't even know your name. You've never talked to them, and you're putting them on a pedestal. And second of all, you're dedicating your time to people who probably aren't even good. If you stopped lusting after women, you'll realize, first of all, a lot of them are not attractive. And second of all, a lot of them are actually jerks. They don't care for you. They don't care about what it means to be a good man. And I'll be honest, more often than not, I'd say every single woman out here has no idea how to treat a man and what true masculine men desire. The same way no man on the planet knows what true feminine women desire. They don't know what women think of. They don't know how female emotions work and what they truly desire. Think about the man who tries to provide solutions in a moment of hesitation where a woman is having a disruption in her life. She doesn't want solutions. She wants emotional comfort. But a man doesn't know that, and it's not his fault. He wasn't taught that. Likewise, a woman wasn't taught to share about these things with a man because she's too afraid to, because she was taught how to share things with women, and women would nag her for those things. Rather, a guy would be appreciative. But she doesn't know that because she wasn't taught. But in this, you only realize it through dropping lust, because you'll realize the world is full of 99% crappy women, and 1% there's a really good bunch. The same way, if you stop lusting, you'll realize that the world is full of 99% crappy men, and there's a 1% good bunch. There's only a couple people who are really good because only a handful of people really want to work hard in their relationship life. And in this, you also realize lust craves the moment. Think about it. Your relationship is a pyramid, one big pyramid. You got a bunch of blocks. You got one block on the top, and let's say you have 1,000 blocks on the bottom, and obviously gradually decreases. That one block on the top, that's sex. That's the peak of the pyramid, right? Everyone wants the peak of the pyramid. Why? Because it's golden. It looks cool. It's awesome. Everyone talks about it. And it's favored. Favored so much, people do it all the time with all sorts of people they don't even know, unfortunately. But here's the problem. If you're lusting, you're skipping all those blocks and chasing the top. Do you think you're going to build a strong foundation to support that pyramid? No, it's going to fall apart. And in that, you're going to realize, well, what are you chasing? 1%. One tiny little thing. In fact, no, not even 1%. Probably 0.0001%. This tiny little block that's insignificant compared to the rest of the structure. And that's what lust is. You can spend 10,000 hours with this woman, and if you're only looking after 1 hour because that's the hour you had sex, what does that communicate to your partner? That communicates that you didn't have a relationship for 10,000 hours. That communicates that you only had 1 hour worth of relationship, and 9,999 hours were for nothing. But love is different. Love wants the whole pyramid, and it starts brick by brick with the bottom. Love doesn't just want sex, but love is patient, love is kind, love is enduring, and it is forgiving, as it says in Psalms. Love is willing to skip with you. Love is willing to place rocks in parks with you. Love will compliment you. Love will jump into freezing cold water for you and then do it with you again, because love loves you. Love is patient. Love wants to meet the family. Love wants to support dreams. Love wants to enjoy their presence as much as possible. Love wants to buy flowers and then buy them again. And then love wants to fill her whole room with flowers because that's awesome. That's what love is. And love will enjoy every little brick that it places. Of course, love will enjoy the top brick, but that's 1%, or not even. That's one brick out of tens of thousands. So love is going to enjoy every single brick, and a woman would be greatly appreciative of that. And that's true masculine love. It begins with learning to appreciate everything. And in this, if you do lead in love, if you do lead in appreciating everything as a man, then you are able to actually result in having a healthier dynamic with your partner. Because a woman will recognize this. Again, she won't often say these things because she wasn't taught to, but she will recognize this. As you are relaxed and you are appreciative, so will she. A woman, after all, naturally succumb to a man's leadership, and their emotional reflection is based off of your emotional projection. So if you are projecting healthy, grounded emotion that is beautiful, then so will she, and your relationship will blossom. However, if you are lustful and if you are craving the top 1%, she will realize you are unstable, and an unstable man is dangerous and she won't trust them. But a stable man is a man who loves everything. And it makes perfect sense in my metaphor. If you're building a pyramid and you're going brick, 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 maybe a couple bricks, brick, 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 couple bricks, and then the golden top brick, that shit's gonna fall over. But if you're going the whole layer and then another layer and then another layer, that's never gonna topple over. I mean, the pyramids of Giza are still standing. I mean, the top was stolen, but the point still stands because the pyramids are there. And a woman's gonna realize, it doesn't matter how long time spends trying to take your relationship away. It'll endure time. It'll endure distance. It'll endure everything because it has the right foundation. And that comes with your core beliefs. Nevertheless, you need calm presence. I alluded to that a bit earlier. Women feel safe around men who are calm. And safety is a big thing. In fact, I'm going to go as far to say no man even realizes the importance of safety in a woman. And I'm going to go as far to say 70, if not more percentage of women don't even consider how important safety is in their lives or how important safety is in their thoughts. Women subconsciously and naturally crave safety. Whether it's spiritual or emotional or physical safety, they crave it. And if a man can't provide safety, meaning if a woman sees him, he doesn't scream, "I'm a safe environment to sit with, you are allowed to tell me everything and anything and I will always support you," then she won't want to be with him. But however, if a man protrudes safety to her, meaning, "Oh, I'm able to always be supportive of you, I'm consistent, I'm enduring no matter how difficult the time is, I will protect you, I will say the right things, you can tell me anything, I will never judge you, I will be careful and gentle with you, I will critique you and make you a stronger partner," then that's a man who's safe. A man who can stand up for you. Think about it. You also want to go to the gym too, so you're physically safe, so you can physically protect her, right? You don't want to necessarily look better, but you want to look stronger, faster, healthier. You want to look like a good man who can be a good father, and that comes with safety, financial safety, literacy safety, intelligent safety. You got to look smart. You got to continue to be smart. But it's not a facade. It's not something you continue to carry. It's not something you fake, because a good woman has discernment, and she will point that out instantly. And in that you find consistency. You can't fake a mask forever, but you can let it become a part of your life and become the mask you want to fake. So instead of pretending to be this good guy, just be the good guy. And she will appreciate that so much more. But in this calm presence, you also realize you're grounding. You're not trying to fix the situation. You're not lecturing. You're not arguing, which does happen in relationships. And it's okay to argue from time to time. It is natural. But in healthy relationships, you are grounded. If she's freaking out, you're calm. And because she's based off of your reflection of emotion, she'll realize it's okay. And she'll calm down. And she'll come to you and apologize. And you'll say, it's okay. And your relationship will grow. And in grounded masculinity, you find good moments get better and bad moments become reflection, which becomes good moments. And your relationship gets better. It's a win-win-win situation. There's no losing. And in this, you have to realize the right time to be grounded, or the right time to say things through groundedness. I like to use the expression, you are a pole grounded in the center of the earth sticking out of the ocean. You are struck by lightning, hit by strong waves of great magnitude, but you never fail. You are always prevailing, always standing up straight, and you're leading in truth, not logic, because your logic can frail and it can be pulled apart and bent, but truth is rigid. It stays. Logic is skewed, but truth will never fail. And truth is that you cannot lead in your emotion. And it goes both ways. If you're sad, you can't be like, I'm sad, I'm going to be a jerk now. But if you're happy, you can't be, I'm super eager, I'm going to want to do something and push my partner away because I'm too eager. And then in that, you have to realize If you want to talk about something, which is important by the way, and I'll touch on that a bit later, you have to find the right time. But needless to say, your nervous system becomes her home because she is a reflection of you after all. And in this, you'll find a masculine man makes a woman more feminine. I can prove this. I can be a testament to this. I can say with confidence that me, though I wasn't the best man, I was far from it, but me being the okay dude that I was a couple months ago, I was able to make my previous partner far more of a feminine woman. And she even said that to me. She was appreciative of it. And naturally, I can say with confidence, because I was masculine, because I took charge, she became more feminine. And I taught her, I'm going to carry you to the door. I'm going to open the door for you. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to carry things for you. Not because you can't, but because I can. Because I will, because I'm the man. Not because I'm the man and I'm superior to you, but because I'm the man and I'm going to do the hard work for you because I love you. And that's what true love is, sacrifice. And I'm going to touch on that in a moment. But needless to say, as mentioned, your nervous system becomes her home. Your reflection of yourself becomes her home. Of course, this home requires sacrifice. So masculine sacrifice isn't about burning yourself out. And by burning yourself out, I mean forgetting your vision. You don't burn yourself out when you're tired. You burn yourself out when you forget where you're going. That's why millionaires burn themselves out when they make a bunch of money. Not because all of a sudden they don't know how to work, but because they don't know where to work with. They don't know what to do. That's why I see big billionaires, they make all their money and then they don't know what to do with it. So either they keep on making more money or they give up because they don't know what to do with their life. But you can't burn out. And that's where women forget the most essential part of their skill, their affection. Woman's affection, her feminine affection, is the most powerful tool on the planet for making a man work harder. Because think about it, if a woman provides physical affection, then her touch will rejuvenate it. A woman's touch is healing, whether it's back rubs, hold-handing, intercourse, whatever it is. Even if it's as simple as touching your nose as a joke. Even if it's as simple as pulling on your hairs. Even if it's as simple as her punching you in the gut as a joke. Female affection through the touch is the most rejuvenating thing as a man. And all men can understand it. But a woman, I guess she just doesn't, because it's different. Men don't get physical affection. Men rarely get affection, if not any. And assurance is necessary for men. Men crave reassurance, no less. So reassurance is powerful in physical touch because it shows I'm feminine. Look at my feminine body. I am caring for you. And needless to say, it's also essential in verbal communication, verbal affection. Imagine you're carrying your partner up a mountain. Imagine she said, you can give up at any point. Well, if that mountain's a relationship, you're going to push her away and you're going to walk away. But if she says you're not allowed to give up, you can't fail, we are in this together. Even though you're carrying me and you're leading me, I'm leading you emotionally. That's amazing. You're overcoming this mountain, this problem together, and you're going to succeed. And there's failure. It's not an option. And if it happens, you sure as well will be supported. So when you are burning out, when you are struggling, it becomes inevitable that you won't. Because how can you burn out when your woman is always reminding you to work hard? She's always reminding you, more importantly, who you're working hard for. If she's always reminding you, through whatever form of affection, that there's a person who loves you, who cares for you, and that's a reason to work hard, then you can never burn out. And sacrifice additionally, and more so importantly, is doing the right thing at the right time, and even if no one applauds. Think about it this way. We're always told men can't talk about their emotions, but that's a lie. Men can talk about their emotions, but at the right time. If you're in a huge argument, right? Like, let's say something crazy. Your girlfriend thinks you cheated on her. Are you going to tell her you had a bad day? No. But if, let's say you're having a really good moment. You had an amazing day. You had this crazy experience where you overcame a challenge together, and then you're listening to her favorite music. You're singing for her, and then you're chilling out. Would you all of a sudden want to, bring something crummy to her? Believe me, I did that. It's not wise, right? You don't want to bring on some bad news to a good moment. Because if you only have a couple days together, then you're really going to ruin those few days. You don't want to do that. You don't want to spend your time apologizing when you can spend that time having fun. So then when do you talk about your emotions? Because as neglected as it is in society, men's emotions are necessary to actually have healthy relationships. So here's the thing. People think there's two solutions. You either don't talk or you complain like a little bitch. But the truth is, push that down. Here's the real solution. Find a time to talk about it. That's being grounded, after all, leading in truth. Just like I said earlier, find a healthy time. Don't talk about it in a crappy situation and don't ruin a good one. So say, hey lady, maybe not that term, but say, hey babe, I would like to talk to you on this certain day. Hey, honey, I want to talk to you this certain day. Or is it okay if we talk now? Is this a good moment that we can talk, right? And she might say, yeah, but she's got no idea what she's talking about. Maybe it's a wrong time, right? Maybe you're in the middle of a fancy date and she says, it's okay, we can talk, but truly, deep down it's not a good time. So maybe when you're chilling out and nothing's going on, then you know for a fact it's okay to talk about it. But that's the type of sacrifice that's necessary. You have to put yourself down and be patient so you can have these healthy conversations at the right time, because you know damn well these healthy conversations will breed healthier relationships, because there's no losing in these conversations. Something bad happens, we talk about it, it becomes good, and it's good. Something good happens, well, it's good no less, and it's good. So it's a win-win situation. There's no losing with healthy communication, and I think that'll be my next big video, is healthy communication. After all, it's a huge deal in relationships, and I'll say no doubt it is the most essential core aspect in a healthy relationship. I'm so thankful that my previous partner was very clear to this with me, that she would dedicate time to have these healthy conversations, and it taught me a lot about this. In fact, I would say she taught me almost everything that there is to know about what it means to be a good man. Because while a masculine man makes a woman more feminine, likewise a feminine woman makes a man more masculine, because he needs to step up and he needs to work harder. But sacrifice is also about your ego, so you got to work long hours when you're needed. You got to adjust your habits. If she's working hard and you're not, well, you got to work hard. And that is found in your competitiveness. Women like to see a man working hard and thinks, he's just trying to one-up me. He just thinks, I'm not allowed to be independent. He's trying to put chains on me and put me in the kitchen. But that's not the case. Pathetic women out there want to get upset at men who want to work hard because they think the man is taking things away from her. But the truth is, and because women don't know this because they're never taught, but men love to be competitive. Whether it's in work environment, classroom environment, sports, whatever, especially sports, but whatever it is, men are competitive. That's the only reason why we work hard, is because we think the next guy's going to work harder than us, right? And because we love you, but that's a huge component. So, and of course, that's why we need reassurance. But so, as a result of us working hard, you can't, from the woman's perspective, you can't be saying, oh, he's working hard, he's taking things from me, but rather you need to be appreciative in that. That's the female responsibility. But needless to say, the male responsibility is working hard. So adjusting your habits. If she's not working hard, you got to work hard. If she's working hard, you got to work harder, right? You got to become reliable. And that's a big one, reliability. That means consistency. You can't be adjusting your habits all of a sudden and working long hours, and then all of a sudden a month later you give up. And why so? Well, that's because that's a huge deal for women. No man knows this, but it's a big deal breaker with women, in the sense that they think their man is going to give up at any point. Women are terrified, especially for the man who works insanely hard in the first month, because as good as it seems from the guy's perspective, I'll be honest with you, all the men who think they're good are crappy. In this sense, they date a girl, they find a girl, they're really good for a month, they're buying her flowers, they're doing all the good things, and then they give up and they get tired. Skip, next girl. They do the same thing, next girl, next girl, next girl, next girl, and so on. So there's 10 girls he dated, and he ruined their lives because he made him feel bad, right? But what has this man done? He's learned nothing. He's learned nothing. All he's done is jump from girl to girl, talking to them for a few months, giving it his all, and then getting tired. He's nothing. He's a stupid, pathetic idiot. He's useless. He's like a stain on a towel. Stain on a towel. Throw him out. Get a new one. Wipe it clean, right? Disgusting. You're not learning anything. You're not developing. You're just useless. And in this, you need to realize there's a sense of significance towards consistency and reliability. If women are terrified of that outcome, you need to avoid that. You need to always make it clear to them that it is okay, it is safe, it is all right. You got to be grounded after all, and that comes in consistency. That doesn't mean you're perfect, because perfection is this unimaginable thing, but that means always trying your best. And your best might be a bit less than yesterday, and it might be a bit more than tomorrow, but your best has to be whatever it is. But that means consistency. So if one day you're really slow to do something, at least you did it. If one day you're quick to do something, well, then you did it. If one day you thought about not doing it, well, you do it anyways. That can be going to the gym, that can be complimenting her, that can be doing something nice. Because the moment she sees you stop doing something, she'll get upset. I would give her a little kiss, this girl who I was hanging out with. I'd give her a kiss every time I left the car, or every time she left the car. Always. And every time that I left her house. We got into a little fight, and one day I didn't do that. And I asked her, I said, well, we didn't kiss, and she said, I thought you didn't want to. She thought I didn't want to. Deep down, little Nolan was going, oh, I really want to, but she's probably upset at me, so I won't. She wanted to, but I was leading that. I was responsible for leading it. So in a man, when you argue, when you're upset, you kiss, you hug, you make things better, you show your affection. You don't shy away, because that is inconsistency. And when you're inconsistent, it tells her you don't care about her. You're not enough for her. In that, I wish I just held her, kissed her, and gave her a big hug and said, I'm sorry, I'll make things better. because that's what she wanted. That was the right thing to do in that moment. But I didn't realize it because, I'll be honest, Nolan back then he was smart, but he was also big of an idiot. A big of an idiot. Well, I still can't talk, so I guess I'm still a little bit of an idiot, but the point still stands. And I hope you can understand what I'm saying here, that you need to be consistent. Even in times of strife, even in times of worriness and fear and hesitation, you need to be consistent. That doesn't mean being perfect, but it means trying your darn hardest. And of course, showing restraint. Maybe in moments where you want to do something, you can't. Maybe she really is upset at you and she does not want affection. Or maybe she doesn't want that type of affection. Or maybe you're lusting and you need to really put a pause on it. You need to chill out. Maybe you want to do something that you think is nice, right? Maybe she's on her period and, you really want to go running and she's like, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm in a lot of pain, right? And men don't like to acknowledge this, but, that cycle runs their life pretty much. So, you're thinking, oh, I want to do it. But she can't. And she's not going to feel like it. And if you do make her do it, she's not going to have a good time, needless to say. So you got to be appreciative and say, okay, well, I'm going to practice some restraint. We'll do it tomorrow, right? Or, I'll care for you in a different way. And that's the thing. Men think that they can just stop the thing that they don't want to do, but you got to go a step ahead. You have to stop the thing you couldn't do and replace it with something even better. So maybe, she's having this hypothetical period and you're like, oh, well, maybe we can't go for a run, but you know what? I'll do something better. Let me go buy you flowers and your chocolates, and then I'll come over and I'll wrap you up in your blankets and I'll hold you in a little blanket ball. I'm pretty sure every girl would want that from a guy, right? And then you turn something that was crummy into something that was better through practicing restraint and becoming reliable. There you go. Simple fix to a beautiful problem. And you didn't have to sit there and tell her about it. You just did it. And that's the thing. Men love to talk about what they want to do, but they never do it. And then this comes into your standards, right? Not necessarily standards for her. While you do become a better man, your standards for a woman increase. But more importantly, your standards for yourself. So you're no longer impulsive. When you feel lonely, you're not going to talk to another woman. You're not going to crave sex. You're going to want to crave building your foundation. Your standards are going to make you go from a man who always wants a result, always wants to be loved, always wants to be hugged, to a man who wants to hug, wants to love, wants to sacrifice, wants to provide for people. Right? Wants to appreciate before being appreciated. You become more humbled. You become more disciplined. Even if you're tired, you become more consistent even when you're discouraged, right? And in your relationship, you're not flirting with others. You're not lusting. You're not hiding your phone because you have nothing to hide. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're not punishing her for your bad day, right? And you're not punishing yourself, needless to say, too, right? New favorite word, I guess, needless to say. I love that word, needless to say. Whatever. Sorry, I repeated a lot. Just new good word in my vocabulary. But anyways, you can't punish her or yourself. And what that means is, let's say you have a bad day. We're not going to punish her, right? Like, let's say she's having this hypothetical period where she's really feeling crummy. And I just want to set things straight. Periods don't influence their emotions, but it influences their experience. And that experience influences their emotions, right? Imagine you got punched in the gut repeatedly throughout the day. You'd probably be pretty upset. So it's not like they have this some sort of emotional transition, but like there's a hormonal transition, but I'm trying to save my butt here if any girl is watching and getting really upset at me from saying this. So I hope you can give me the benefit of the doubt and acknowledge me that, there's a bit of a punch in the whole system when that happens. But regardless, in this hypothetical situation where this girl's having a period, you wouldn't go up to her and be like, yo, I hate you, or like, yo, I had a really bad day today, or this or that. Because first of all, she's going through something. Second of all, how is she supposed to even appreciate it right now? She can't fully take it in. So that plays into what I said earlier, finding the right time. But that also means don't make your own day bad, because what's going to happen is you're going to want to say something, she won't want to hear it, and then you'll turn that into, oh, she hates me, I hate this, I don't like her anymore, and then you'll be distant from her and you'll push her away. So it makes a really unhealthy cycle. So you need to basically shoot yourself in the foot, say, okay, whatever, you know what, I'll be patient and tell her tomorrow. And you have to be patient, you have to be consistent. That's hard, because you have to realize it. You have to reach this double self-awareness. I made some videos on that. I recommend watching three tiers of awareness, knowing, understanding, and appreciating. But anyways, point is, you need to be patient, you need to be consistent, you need to sacrifice, and you need to have some standards for yourself. And overall, of course, you need to make her feel safe. I talked about this earlier, but women crave safety. It's their sixth sense that no one likes to talk about, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual. Masculine love lets her relax into her softness. The best thing a woman can do is be feminine. Her touch literally heals men. Like women don't even know about this stuff, but her touch literally heals men. It makes men healed. Straight up. It makes men feel better. Whatever touch it is, holding hands, a poke on the nose, a poke on the shoulder, a back rub, intercourse, whatever type of touch it is, female touch literally heals men. It's encouraging, it's reassuring. Men crave reassurance. Women want emotional stability, men want reassurance for their goals. Right? She shouldn't have to lead the emotional tone. You should be leading, but she should be supporting you. She shouldn't have to mother you, but you should need to step up and take everything to encourage you to step up. Right? And emotional encouraging isn't her mothering you, but it's supporting you. And she becomes more affectionate when you are present. So you need to make her feel safe. You need to be present. You need to let her know that everything is okay and everything is welcome, no matter how ridiculous it might seem. And her softness is truly your strength. Female touch and female affection is the biggest benefit to a man's success. Like with the mountain analogy earlier, if she's always telling you you can do it, you can get better, you can get stronger, then you can climb up that mountain, which is your relationship. You can place the bricks to build the foundation of the pyramid. But if she says you can give up at any time, well, first of all, it hurts, believe me, kind of sucks, bit of a punch in the gut. But also, if you can give up at any time, then what's the significance of the relationship? Does she even care about it? So then what motivation does that bring to the man? And then the man is going to remember those words for the rest of his life. I still remember the words that partner told me. I remember all of them, the good ones, the bad ones, and they haunt me. They haunt every man. A man remembers everything a woman tells him. A man can memorize every compliment he's ever been given and every harsh piece of criticism that the woman didn't realize. So because of that, woman's words and her female, physical affection and, all forms of affection, of course, are significant and are unparalleled to anything else in the world to giving man hope and this desire to be better. So, obviously, I apologize, bit of the wrong audience there, but it's important that as a man you recognize that. As a man, you need to recognize the significance in her female softness. So you need to make her more feminine by being more masculine, right? Saying, I'm going to carry your stuff not because you can't, but because, it's my duty as a man to help you, because I love you, because I don't want to make you do stuff I could do for you. I have to do everything for you because I'm a man, and you will learn to let me do that. You'll learn to be more patient. She is a reflection of your strength, after all. She's a representation of you, after all, but just feminine. So make her feel safe. And of course, you need discipline in affection, not just duty. Masculine love isn't cold. It's this beautiful, warm emotion. It's this presence. It's this direction towards her. It's compliments with detail, saying stuff like, I love your beautiful hazel eyes and all the details in there. I love your hair, whatever color it is, because you always put more effort into it than I recognize. I love your beautiful skin. I love your cheeks and your beautiful, the rosy redness on your cheeks and your ears and your clothing and your voice, your soft, soothing voice, whatever it is, your giggles, whatever it is. Right? You gotta love all of it. You have to be intentional. You have to be detailed. I can tell you with confidence, if this woman were to spawn in front of me, I could spend the next 10 hours complimenting her. I guarantee you, I can promise you that. I can spend 10 hours straight just complimenting her. Right? And that comes out of love. I'm not saying if you can't do that, you don't love your partner, but I'm saying if you truly love your partner, then you can just muster that stuff up. Right? And now, of course, some men are better communicators than others, and I think I'm not perfect. I'm actually a pretty crappy communicator, but I'm working hard to be a better one. And, a lot of that comes through complimenting each other with the right sort of compliments. And you're not overdosing her with constant love bombing, because love bombing is almost like a bit of an insecurity. Love bombing tells the woman that you're not good. And by love bombing, I mean giving her your all and then backing away, and then giving her her all and then backing away. That's inconsistency. That's the whole thing I was talking about earlier that women are terrified of. They're terrified of that crappy man coming in and then giving up. So you don't love bomb, but just constantly, drop nukes on her every single day, right? Be the man who says, I want to get you flowers so many times to where your room gets filled up with flowers and then it overflows. Not the man who's going to get her a bunch of flowers and then never again, right? It's okay to give it your all. Just give it your all forever. That's fine. You're a man after all. You can do it. That's what I was doing. I'm a man who says all or nothing. I'm going to give you 100%. If you were my girlfriend right now, you would be the most pampered girlfriend in the whole universe because I would giving you my everything. And, I wouldn't expect everything in return, but sure as hell, my standard is that I am giving you my everything. Screw 110%, screw 200%, I'm giving you 1,000,000%. You are getting all of me and everything more. And maybe some days I will struggle, but I'm still holding myself accountable and I'm going to work hard. And, I'll expect some support in return, of course, no less. But, the expectation is I'm trying my best, right? I need to be detailed. I need to be directed. I need affection with intention. I don't need to overdose her, but I need to give her my everything, and not being silent, especially not silent for days. That is emotional abandonment. And discipline and affection is going to feel like steady communication, thoughtful gestures, supportive words, a steady tone, of course, and healthy boundaries. And boundaries, more importantly, which are against bad things, boundaries against sin, boundaries against arguments, boundaries against bad things, but goals to the future. And a boundary isn't a girl saying no, that's a goal. When a girl in your relationship, like a girl you want to marry, says no to intercourse, and you need to realize in that, because you want to marry her, it's not necessarily a no to now, it's a goal in the future. Maybe in a couple months, maybe in a couple years, maybe in a lifetime, who knows, maybe tomorrow. You don't even know, man. But the point is, when she says no, oftentimes it's not yet. Of course, I'm not saying no doesn't mean no. No absolutely means no. If she says no to something, whatever the context is, intercourse or a present or a gift or anything, obviously take it with the context. But, what I'm saying here is set goals for yourself. So if she asks you for something and you're not comfortable with it, you got to be gentle and say, I'm not ready for that yet. How about we do this in the future? And it's not a boundary against you, because you never want to wall your partner out of your life, right? A boundary is a wall, right? Why would you want to do that? People think boundaries are like, these good things, but would you want to tell your partner, you're not allowed to go into my phone? That's a boundary. What the heck? That's a jerk thing, right? Don't wall your partner in. Don't do that. Set boundaries against bad things and set wide open gates for goals against other things. Set goals for the good things you want to achieve. Why would you want to do that to your partner? Why would you want boundaries against, the person you want to marry one day? It's not very healthy, right? You have goals, you have expectations, you have respectful reassurance, but I think there's a better way to look at it than necessarily just boundaries. But needless to say, of course, masculine affection makes her feel chosen repeatedly, not just this random girl you found. She needs to be a flower which you picked out of millions, not the first one you found in the ditch, if that makes sense. And of course, love is most visible during conflict. Conflict reveals a man's level of masculinity. Does he get loud? Does he start screaming? Or does he stay grounded? Because most men, even like myself, become reactive. They become emotional. They become defensive. And that's a man who can't support a woman. Masculine love remains grounded. And it shows that she reacts in the way you do. So if you are calm, you are bringing the situation down to a calm. She will naturally become more calm. And if you can be calm, not only she will be calm, but the relationship will be improved because you turned a bad thing into a good thing. So you don't need to match her emotional state. You need to stabilize it. You need to be harmonized with how she's feeling and then bring it down. You need to fully appreciate and understand everything she's going through and so much more, so that way you can fully understand how to solve the situation. And that's not through telling her the solution, but that's through providing it. Even when you're upset, your values must stay intact. And she must trust a man whose love doesn't disappear when she's emotional. After all, a woman's emotion is necessary in a man's love. But overall, I hope you can take from this video that love is leadership, love is your calm, it's your sacrifice, it's your consistency, it's choosing her daily even when you don't want to be the man that you desire. It's not loud, right? It's quiet, it's steady, it's deeply safe, it's precious, it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's caring. And when a woman feels safe in your love, she becomes the most beautiful feminine version of herself. And you will become the man you were meant to be. My name is Nolan T. Painter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a few things, between all my ranting, and I will see you tomorrow.